Well, it's about that time. You've heard enough from me in the build-up. It's time for the actual star of the show, Smelly McTroll, to take over. He's going to be running some Secret of Mana 2018. It's going to be an any percent run on the version 1.2 patch. Smelly, good luck, and take it away.
All right, everyone, good morning. I'm Smelly McTroll, better known by my username, Smelly McTroll. And I'm joined from his secret bunker by...
Hello, everyone. My name is Dainu Atari on Remote Comms.
And yeah, so there are a couple things we're going to need from you, Bob, before we get started. One is the soundtrack version.
Yes, sir. I am currently doing the final refresh right now. And it is an absolute landslide in favor of the original SNES soundtrack.
Okay.
Good taste.
We are set on that, and soon I will need... So time's not going to start just yet. I'm going to need the audio language.
Audio language. Once again, Japanese is winning out.
And the boy's name.
The boy's name is... Boy. B-O, capital B, lowercase O-Y, exclamation point.
Exclamation point.
I can't
yell.
hear anyone but Kratos say that.
Boy.
Boy.
Yeah, apparently we're not getting special characters.
Can you just write exclamation mark?
I don't know.
We can type it in every time.
Yeah.
Then I think we just go with boy and leave it at that.
All right, and time's going to start as soon as I hit OK here in a couple seconds. So 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Let's go!
So there's quite a bit of changes from the remake to the SNES. Some people like it, some people hate it. One of the ones is you're no longer kind of stuck on a screen with the other two characters. You got complete free range movements. So here in the beginning, we're playing as the boy. He's an orphan in the village of Potos, and he ends up finding a rusty sword. And this sword actually has a special property. It gives us the UI, and the game gets very unhappy if you go without the UI for too long. So if you look underneath the boy's HP, he's got a stamina bar. And running in the SNES, you were kind of just stuck to one direction, where running is a lot more free-flowing in this. There is a kind of piece of tech you want to do for a lot of the loading screens is you kind of want to do a screen transition on 100% stamina, because the game takes about 2 seconds before it'll start refilling it for you. So when you can kind of know where those dead zones are, you can end up saving quite a bit of time over the run, because there are a lot of screen transitions.
Yeah,
so here we're just getting... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, we're coming up on the first boss here. May look familiar to fans of the series. He's not quite as tough as he was in previous games, though.
So here we're getting yelled at because we pulled out the sword and monsters now exist. And we fall in a hole. So Mantis Ant has a very interesting AI script. When you're a good distance away from him, I say a good distance because I don't actually know. We'll call it 4 boy lengths. When you're 4 boy lengths away from Mantis, he'll start using Sleep and Gem Missile. What you're seeing Smelly do here is, you actually, even though Mantis is attacking twice, he only has 1 hitbox. So as we're hitting him during his swings, we're not completely immune, but we won't take any damage during a physical attack. So it allows us to stay right into his face and consistently deal damage through the fight. That was a very clean fight.
Yeah, I think I only got 1 block there. Well, it wasn't even
Yeah.
a block. I just I just didn't hit him in the backside. So I guess it was just kind of my fault.
Can I pop in with a quicken? Quick donation.
Yeah.
From our previous runner, Shawnee7188, who donates $10 and says, I'm donating because I said I would for fail jumps. I just want to say thank you to everyone who gave support to me in the last 2 months. Having a father, let alone anyone, pass away is traumatic and painful. But asking for help is nothing to be ashamed for. I am really proud for my friends for their support, and it shows how important Nami is as well. Less than 3. All the best, everyone. Keep donating. Much love to all. Shawnee, from everyone on site, you probably couldn't hear us, but we were yelling how much we love you, we miss you, and we look forward to seeing you again, our friend. Take care of yourself, and back to Smelly.
All right, so Keen Eyes might have seen for just a second there one of the previous mana protagonists there on the wall. He has a little portrait hanging up. Other than that, there's not much left to do in Poto's village. You grab some money so you can cannon travel, but not quite yet. Right now, I'm just going to take a little trek to the Water Palace and save my money for future cannon travel.
Unlike the SNES version, it's faster to run. In the remake, the 2018, we'll probably flop back and forth between the two quite a bit. There is a lot of times where just running from point A to point B is a lot faster than the cannon travel. Sadly, in this version, they did take out the cannon travel animation, which made me big sad, because I always missed landing on the B out front of Gaia's navel. So mashing in this game is very nice. You just hold the space bar. It makes it a little weird to play the game, because you kind of have to have like your hands with the controller over the space bar, but it definitely saves the hand health. The rest of the run doesn't, but at least this does.
Yeah, it saves my controllers too.
So here we're just learning about the Mana Sword and the Hero of Legends. So here, the Mana Seeds play a pretty big part in the run. They allow your magic to cap out at whatever seed you have. They also give you a flat damage increase by the number of seeds you have squared. So we get a whole whopping 1 extra damage now. Watch out, we are now the destroyer of worlds.
Look out, world. Here we come.
It also allows you to get your weapons leveled up. Weapon levels isn't something we're not interested in. Actually, there's a bunch of levels we don't want to level up. For reasons much later in the game.
Yeah, so there's kind of a balancing act that you have to do. You'll get more damage off a partial weapon XP than you will off just a straight full level. So we want to get as close to that line as possible with the 3 weapons that Randy's Boy's gonna be cycling through in the game, without going over to level 1.
Yeah,
at least for
what
the first 2.
What Smelly's talking about is the Mana Sword damage is calculated by your weapon levels and your weapon partial experience. Partial experience is worth 10 times more than a level. Smelly and I were doing a little bit of math, and if you're missing 60 partial weapon experience, you're losing out on almost 300 damage on Mana Beast. It's surprisingly on how little experience goes such a long way at the end game.
No B, all by my lonesome.
Nope. Big sad.
We do have to worry about these bats coming up. Hopefully they don't do the thing. Okay, not that time.
Here in this cave, we'll be fighting 11 Kid Goblins. We do want the sword to level 1 because it will speed up the next boss fight. Nice, crit. This game sadly still gets stuck to 3 enemies in a zone. So it was one of the reasons we didn't try to get all 4 of these together in one spot.
Yeah, and I'm not going to go back for that chest. A lot of the time you just get traps here. Sometimes you might get headgear to give Randy a little more defense. Or, sorry, Boy. we'll give him a little more defense, but most of the time it's not worth it. You'll just end up wasting a little bit of time and getting nothing for it, so you lose twice in a way.
So, what you seen Smelly do there? Oh, all right. Everyone get comfy for the next 14 seconds.
I might die here. Okay. That was close.
So what you seen Smelly do there is you seen him swing at the 2 kid goblins, and he also hit a switch. When that happens, you don't end up using any of your stamina. So you pretty much get a free hit right after. And coming in this room for the good old magic rope, which is basically your fast escape from a lot of dungeons. One nice thing they did from the SNES is upon a level up, you get a HP and MP refill. So the experience routing, especially early game, is very interesting because it saves you from going to the inn if you level up at a very precise moment. It also allows us to get a couple of extra magic casts to get another spell. So here, coming up on this final switch, Smelly should also be getting sword level 1. Each level you charge up your weapon is a 50% damage increase. So since this boss is cycle-based, getting that extra 50% damage does save quite a bit of time in the fight.
So right now I'm gonna go make just a quick purchase. Gonna run in here, give boy a little bit more defense. Just gonna buy a power van brace and toss it on.
The power van brace also has the added bonus of giving you +5 to strength, so it's an extra 5 damage per swing.
And so making that purchase sets us up for a cutscene that's a little bit shorter in here. So instead of going into like the full second phase of this cutscene, it'll just be cut off because I don't have enough money to pay for it.
We broke.
Yeah, so the gold is routed very tightly in the beginning here.
It's the whole, you could fight more things for extra levels, but the levels on Boy don't matter that much. In the early game, levels on Popoi matter a lot more, just because that 1 or 2 extra magic points he gets does actually matter quite a bit for bosses for an extra magic cast.
So I'm going to be taking that 50 that I just got back and immediately spending it over here. In just a couple seconds, going to upgrade the Mana Sword. And then going on to fight well, I guess technically the second boss of the game. But more importantly, shortly after that, I'm going to need the name for Popoi.
You heard him. If you need to do any sniping, now's the time. While you're heading to that boss, the name here to Hula has donated and has said, "Go SMT, hyped to see you run live on Limit Break." Originally I thought this was a donation for Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne later, but let's go SMT!
All right.
Well, you seen Smelly there.
Trying to go as fast as I can here.
At the start was he delayed the first charge hit. This will keep Tropicalo above ground for a little bit longer. And his AI kind of just shuts off when the little pumpkin buddy's just dancing around. So you can kind of get a little bit lucky, get an extra hit or 2 in. Unlike the SNES, the little bramblers do give you experience and money. So killing them does give you an extra candy or 2 for safety for the next coming up region. Where are the crits at?
I don't know. They're hiding out, I guess. All right, that was a little touch and go. We got him.
Just keeping the viewers on the edge of their seat. If the run goes well, we pretty much avoid all active inns. If going to an inn is usually just when either someone dies and we don't want to use a Cup of Wish, or something greatly happened and we need to level someone up because someone died on a boss. Inns, because they added cutscenes, are about a 45-second time loss, not counting about the time running to the inn.
Okay, so I will need the name for Popoi.
All right, one last refresh here. Do. Yeah, because of course right now is when my computer chooses to lag. Jeff with a question mark has won by $1 with $26 over Mountain Dew, $25. So you are J, capital J, lowercase e, lowercase ff, and then and question mark.
All right. So, yeah, apparently the game doesn't accept special characters, so I hope Jeff is good enough here.
Just type out question mark.
Yeah, we'll say it. We'll say it every time.
So, Jeff question mark joining us is kind of nice. We get a bunch of really good weapons. Most of them we're not going to use, but we do get a couple of weapons. For the most of the run, Jeff's pretty much going to be naked, unless Smelly decides if the run has been quite rude to buy other defensive gears. The only defense we buy are 2 power vamp races, and that's it for the whole run. If you're trying to go for a good time, getting the extra money for equipment is quite time costly over just praying and hoping for the best. So here we're going to be using the hotkey system. So we hotkeyed the sword and the spear. We gave Jeff the axe, and the boy kept the sword. This is for coming through for the forest. Everyone can cut down shrubbery. We want to get into landscaping. This is a good way to do it. Buying a couple of... These aren't even like really safety candies. These are just to make sure you don't reset candies.
Yeah, the forest can be pretty brutal. With the Choban Hood, it's able to do, upwards of 20 damage or so.
The remake did some... The remake did some things right. It did a lot of things wrong. One of the things is they increased the attack speed of the bow for the players, but they also increased it for the enemies. So any enemy that uses a bow is basically a machine gun.
Yeah, one knockdown will take you out.
Yeah, so if you end up getting knocked down, a very good chance you're just going to lose all your HP. So here what menu is trying to do is something called menu calling. So if your party member is off screen and in the idle animation, if you open the menu and close it, they'll instantly get recalled to you. It's a good way to try to keep them alive in this little area. So here it is very important that Jeff stays alive. These wolves hit quite hard, so you'll see Smelly switch back and forth between the characters to try to hit at 100% stamina for full damage. That was actually a very clean fight. Nice recovery.
And I'll need the name for Prim now.
Alrighty. While I'm refreshing, there has been a suggestion for the Jeff problem, which is every time you say it, you could just say, Jeff? I don't know. Alright. The name for Prim will be Go, 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 Go. All lowercase, 4 goes.
All lowercase?
Yep.
Go.
Who won with $100 over Andy, who was in second place with $50.
Where are we going?
You're going fast is what you're going. Because you've got to go fast.
That sounds good. I think I'll keep doing that.
So just to sum up for everyone listening, we have Boy, Jeff, and Go, 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 Go. as our as our party.
So the good old boy is going to be married to the spear until he gets as close as possible to a level safely. If you kill an enemy that are lower level than you, you get 9 weapon experience. If someone else kills the enemy, you get half of that, so you'll get 4. So through this is one of the variable parts of the run is boy needs to get mid 90s on the spear and the axe, and because a large chunk of the game revolves around magic, you don't always get weapon experience on boss fights. So you can either level up, or you can get the necessary experience very quickly, or it can take a little bit. Go, 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 go is the, if you end up skipping the girl, which you do a lot of the times in the SNES speed runs, the game default names her to, I think it's 14 of them.
Okay, bit of a scary room coming up here.
This room is always one you kind of sweat. You want to get through past both of these werewolves without dying. We don't have any Cup of Wishes, so if a character dies, you're forced to reload a party save.
Yeah, you can buy a couple wishes from Neko over there, but it's gonna throw pretty much everything off.
Yeah,
'Cause it's so
they're
expensive.
300 a pop.
Quick,
So-
wait, I need to ask a quick question here. We have a donation towards your runner's choice, Smelly. What do you want that to go towards?
What do we have coming up?
We have the Fight Armor of the Master, and we have Fight No Heart and Fight Vanitas coming up, all for Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Those would be the next unmet incentives.
All right, that sounds good. Let's put it towards that.
All right, shall do. Carry on. My bad.
So here we're giving Boy the sword and Hotkeen the bow. Older routes used to fight quite a bit in this dungeon. You got a lot of extra levels for safety. You got extra money for equipment. As the route progressed, we found a lot of time saved just cutting out taking any battle that's not quote unquote necessary. So here you're seeing Smelly charge up the sword, kind of really hoping a crit on the sword charge attack is really nice. Sometimes you don't get that lucky. So since he's up on the platform, we're going to be switching back and forth between Boy and go, 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 to try to just continually dish out as much damage as possible. Our main goal in this fight is to keep Jeff alive. There is something you can do kind of similar to the SNES, where you can cancel out the death by throwing a healing item at the correct time. The hit point will go to 0, the candy will kick in, but the death flag is never set. This fight is very troublesome for numerous reasons. One, he hits very, very hard. Very clean fight. GG's.
Yeah, Spiky's probably one of the toughest bosses in the game,
Yeah.
and thankfully he's
Yeah.
right up front.
So there is a bug that we will be exploiting later on. So if you die while under the effect of a timed status or debuff, so Fire Bouquet will lower your attack by 25%, and it's a timed debuff. If you die under that timer, the timer gets cleared, but the flag that you have the buff or debuff isn't. So if Randy ends up dying from Fire Bouquet, Boy or go, 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 you have to reload the save, because they'll lose 25% attack damage until they get hit with it again. And the next enemy that casts this is about an hour and 20 minutes into the run. So even losing 10 damage, 15 damage on an attack this early still hurts you a lot. Same works for Acid Rain, where you lose 25% of your defense. But thankfully, it works for spells like Lunar Boost and Speed Up as well. So there's a lot of moving parts. Spiky also has about 900 hit points. Keeping Jeff alive will guarantee that he has 10 MP going into wall face, which will give you an extra gem missile cast. Which does make that fight quite a bit more consistent. Because gem missile will deal about 120 to 150 damage.
Okay, I got him. Got him just in time. He's okay.
Yep. He's just a little dusty. He's still good. He's still good.
So we're going to be coming up on another boss-ish, mini-boss, I guess you could call it, in just a minute here. It's going to be pretty funny looking, at least on the second phase. On the first phase, I use a technique that I've just kind of called swap throttling. So you attack, yeah, damage throttling, something like that.
I love it.
So what's going to happen is I'm going to attack with Boy, and Go-Go-Go's stamina should be at 100, or either one. Essentially, it's a way to just switch and get full damage hits each time without waiting.
This does save some time, because even though an AI character will get to 100% stamina, they kind of still stand around for about a second and a half before they decide to attack. This isn't necessarily to do, and it is quite disorienting for the first couple of tries.
This part isn't, though.
No, this part, little
there we go.
Little Totodile here just wants to get away from us to attack us, but by trapping him in a corner, he just doesn't know what to do. So he's just going to keep hopping over and over again while we poke him with the pointy stuff.
Yeah, never cures, just keeps trying to execute the same attack over and over and doesn't realize when his back's against the wall.
And that's a boss. No one puts baby in the corner.
And so with that, we actually get access to magic now. So now the game gets a little bit more interesting.
Undine is, in my opinion, the most broken element, especially for offensive damage. Freeze has a spell power of 61, and it only costs 2 MP. And every time you level up Freeze, it gets a 50% damage increase. So getting Freeze this early, if you hit an enemy's elemental weakness, you get a 2 times damage bonus. So on Wallface, for instance, Freeze level 2 will do as much damage as Earth Slide level 0. And Earth Slide is 3 MP for the same spell power. So of course in the speedrun, we're going to be abusing a lot of Freeze. Even if it's maxed on level, it will still be our most damage versus MP efficient spell. The Saber spells do work. It's a flat 10 damage they add, which really isn't worth it in a lot of situations. Racial bonuses also work, and they add a flat 10 damage. So sadly, it is kind of nice they fixed it. It's just not to the point where it's really still worth using it for a cast. Especially mid to late game, Go 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 is going to be pretty much married to the Luna element.
So if Randy
Because this game made some serious mistakes.
If Randy hasn't died, the spear should be at the top of the menu here. There we go. And so I'm gonna buy a couple items to set up for the next section. I won't need them for this one coming up. This one, Underground Palace, is pretty clean and straightforward. So I'm just gonna buy another Power Van Brace. We're gonna put that on Go Go Go. And then I'm gonna set up my hotkeys here with the Cure. I'm gonna go to Jeff. Maybe it's Jeff. and set up freeze. So there is... I talked about kind of that thematic and mechanical progression. You see a little bit of like echoes of Final Fantasy Adventure in this with the progression, except you use magic here. And of course, to get through the forest, you needed a sharp weapon. But mostly it's just going to be using the right spell, these magic orbs, to progress through, you know, a dungeon or a section. And I'm just going to drop that on her really quick. All right, I'm going to split the party up a little bit. Jeff, he's going to be by himself. We're going to go back to Prim, use a cure, set her there. And then run over with Boy. Switch back to go, 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 and go up the stairs. That's where we're going. Figured it out.
It's one of the nice little puzzles about being able to just have free roaming characters everywhere.
I'm glad you finally figured it out.
Some people
'cause
would
it's been
cast
puzzling
spells in
chat.
that main area to try to lock a character in place.
This isn't part of the plan. Could you move? Thank you.
He was trying his best Gandalf impression on you.
You shall not pass.
Thank you for that, Bob. You did that infinitely better than I would have.
I have the accent. It's a dead giveaway.
So, Fire Gigas, there is a quick kill that can happen. By mashing the attack button by having full stamina, you can end up stun locking him before his AI kicks in to disappear.
I'm sad.
I'm very sad, Panda.
Yeah. Sometimes he doesn't give you the right frames for it, but you can still get it here. There he goes.
So here you can see Fire Gigas is now in a what we call a physical stun lock. So go, 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 go is just going to keep poking until the freeze casts happen. And now we're going to switch to Jeff as he just attacks over and over again for small amounts of damage as the other two characters attack for big damage. A lot of bosses can be physically stun locked, which once again made it like very neat to route a lot of the boss fights. As Smelly said, the first hour of the run was probably my favorite to route, because everything else after that becomes pretty much a magic spam, because in this version, much like the SNES, magic is still the best way to go about it for a lot of situations.
Here we're going to get access to Gnome, which becomes very important almost immediately. Don't see Gnome around too much in the run, but he's very important on a couple boss kills in this first third.
We've touched on it, but we'll touch on it again. When you gain a level, you gain magic and hit points. You get a full recover. In the inns, there's a cutscene that happens where everyone sits around the round table. So any inn's about a 30 to 46 second time loss. So with the experience routing on how it is, this is why we don't fight a lot of random encounters, because that'll throw the experience table off.
We do have a great question from chat. You mentioned that you avoid inns in the remaster. Is there a reason why?
I didn't quite catch that.
I said we have a question from chat, which is that you avoid inns in the remaster. Can you explain why you avoid going to inns?
Yeah, so just like Dine was saying, the inns trigger an extra cutscene. They wanted to do a little bit more, character building in this version of it, and that's where they chose to do it. Anytime you sleep in an inn, it will trigger a cutscene that, if you skip through the text, is still probably a good 30 seconds to a minute, depending on where you are in the game. So it just works out where you're actually gonna end up losing a lot of time if you do that. The only time you'll stop at an end is if you get off route. So if you get a level before you beat a boss and you end up with no MP. Situations like that.
The cutscenes are very good to watch, like casually. They do add a lot of backstory. Matango is the only inn where you don't get the inn, or where you don't get the cutscene. But in the speedrun, at that point, you're pretty flush with money. We got a whopping 2,500 GP to spend in our pockets. So unless you want to be just super safe, there's still really no reason. After we get to a certain point, character survivability goes down, and we just embrace that. There is another runner of this, Crow. His route greatly revolved around using a lot of Gnome with Gem Missile and Earth Slide. Earth and Ice weakness in the game are pretty close and can be comparable. So you can definitely go either way. I went with Undine just because you get her the earliest. Pardon me. So here, Smelly is going to be setting up the speed up glitch. What speed up does is it raises accuracy and evasion for one character by 25%. So he's going to cast it on Boy, and then have Boy die before the buff expires, and then we end up with a permanent speed up boost for the rest of the game. We'll be putting it on Go 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 and Boy, because they'll be the two main physical attackers.
Yeah, the zombies didn't want to cooperate there.
No.
Luckily, this game autosaves, which can sometimes work against you.
Yeah. This is one area where dying can also be quite difficult. You want to keep Jeff as far away from the enemies as possible, because they'll usually end up targeting the one that's closest to them.
Okay.
Nice. All right, so now that we have two perma speed up characters, Boy will never miss on a boss for the rest of the run. Go 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 has a very slim chance if she's not at 100% stamina. And this is where we're talking about with the EXP routing. With Jeff living through Spiky Tiger, if we kill 1 or 2 mutant tomatoes, depending on how many enemies you've killed in the forest, Popoe gets a level. The level is not important. It's the level that gives him the extra magic point that's important. And this is pretty much where the experience routing pretty much ends. Sad it's kind of early, but we're kind of sitting at that point now where we can quite reliably kill the bosses coming up without really needing to hinge on magic. Wallface is a cycle-based boss, and the left eye can cast Cure Water to kind of extend the fight. And we don't have a lot of items for survivability. Any money we've gotten have been put into equipments, the Cup of Wishes to set up the speed up glitch, and the spear upgrade for an additional 9 damage. So this setup here is kind of funky. We're going to run up to the boss, attack, and then wait until 86 stamina, and then cast Gem Missile. So this will magically lock the eyeball from closing. Gem Missile has a stupidly long animation over freeze, so you don't want to cast it one after another. You kind of want to wait till the gems are at about the eyeball level, because if you cast it too early, you can actually break the enemy out of the magical stun lock.
Yeah, I was going to say that I was a little bit late, so the eyes were going to get involved there.
Yeah. So every 2 levels the spells gain, their animations increase. Gem Missile is very good for lockdown just because it has a stupidly long animation to begin with. Gem Missile level 0 is the same is the same animation time as Freeze level 4. So for certain situations, we'll use Gem Missile. For other situations, Freeze will pretty much just carry us to the promised land. Older routes used to have Gem Missile level to 1 just because that fight was so troublesome. And then we figured out a way to kind of keeping Jeff alive for Spiky was the big key for it. If not, you would just cast 4 Gem Missiles, do a slowdown, and pray you had enough crits to carry you through it. Crits in this game are a little bit more than double damage. So if you have 40 attack and the enemy has 20 defense, you deal 20 damage outside of some variances for like low rolls and things like that. If you crit, your attack is 80, so it's more than double damage because you're not losing attack due to the enemy's defense. So crits at any point in the game are very welcome just because it's a large chunk of additional damage.
Yeah, we do have time for, do you have anything, Bob?
Oh, yes. All right, let's see here. We have Turg donating $15. It says, unfortunately, there isn't canon travel to attend RPG Limit Break in person, but I'm happy to catch the Secret of Mana run online. Thank you very much, Turg. Now, this next one I might need the help of the audience with, even though I know you can't be seen, but... here we go. Blue Guitar Thing says, donating $20. Loving all of these runs. Keep it up, and please pat yourselves on the back for being part of something so awesome. So please pat yourselves on the back. There we go.
Well, I would like to, but I am holding a controller at the moment, so...
Of all the people in the room, it's understandable if you don't, Smelly. All right, and then we have from one of our own awesome volunteers, a tea tree, who said $19.93. It says, I cannot stress this enough. Play this game. Play the original, play the remake. You owe it to yourself to play this and Trials of Mana if you have any love for action RPGs at all. I spent so many late nights and early morning as a young'un playing on a little CRT with terrible color in my bedroom. It was a revelation to realize that RPGs can be more than turn-based menu affairs. Much love to Manifest and everyone putting on RPG Limit Break, and to Nami.
Thank you, everyone, for your generosity for this great charity that everyone's come together to raise money for.
And that charity is NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, who are just an absolute charity that we've been supporting from the beginning here at Limit Break. They're a grassroots advocacy campaign, group that have been operating for over 40 years, and they just have some of the nicest people working for them. I've gotten to know some of them over the years here, and they're an absolutely great charity. Thank you for donating $34,399 so far, and counting, towards that cause.
Alright, so there was nothing much to really see with that boss.
I don't know, it looked like there was a lot that happened there.
Yeah,
you were running around.
There was a little bit that transpired this time, but the general strategy with that boss is you just want to stagger your hits to keep them in that really long stun animation. I did end up losing Go there.
So it became
Thankfully,
stop,
because
stop.
of like EXP normalization, it doesn't matter that much. She's pretty much there. She's a pretty decent mage and a pretty decent physical attacker, so her damage is pretty much just supplemental.
So what you're saying is go became stop.
That is true.
Okay.
She stop for a bit.
Thank you to Manny for your $25 with no donation comment. Thank you to Sunny Muffin for the same $25 with no donation comment. And thank you to Armazan for $50 with no donation comment. And then to One Free Fits, also with $25 with no donation comment. Thank you all so much for your generosity.
So, coming up, we're saving the water seed that got stolen to power Kilroy. And this boss coming up is the last troublesome boss we're going to have for quite a while, outside of this hallway with the water thugs.
Yeah, the old YOLO room.
Jabberwocky is Undine element, So we're stuck to using Gem Missile, but Gem Missile is still level 0. And because he's Undine element, he has access to Acid Rain, which will reduce our defense by 25%. And he also has Cure Water, and his Cure Water heals for a ridiculous amount of damage. It heals for anywhere between 500 to 550. And it's pretty much a load the autosave point at that. It's a very large chunk of damage to try to chip through on top of his already massive HP pool. So here you're going to kind of see like a lot of battles are going to be just rinse and repeat. Magically stun lock them, do physical damage in the meantime. Once you run out of magic, do physicals and pray.
Yeah, it's always great to see a crit pop up here, which is not the case right now.
Nope.
Sometimes you can get lucky and... Oh, okay, there we go.
Nice.
So, go. It was hitting him when he was in neutral stance, and so that causes that real back animation. You love to see that, too.
Getting all the clean fights.
Yeah, once you run out of magic there, Jabberwock is just kind of free to do whatever he wants to. Yeah, so it's just always nice to see a lot of damage front-loaded there.
We got another interesting question earlier. I'm sorry. I do want to sorry. Go ahead. I'll ask in a moment. Go ahead with what you say.
Go ahead, Bob.
Okay. We had an interesting question earlier because someone was asking, there was a lot of things that happened in this that really were difficult to recreate outside SNES code. So is the SNES code running underneath this game, or is it just completely reprogrammed to be approximately the same? Or do you not know?
I personally don't know.
That is a completely valid answer.
There's a lot of assumptions. It feels like this was supposed to be a strictly Vita-only game.
Oh,
and they kind of tacked
right.
on the PS4 and PC afterwards.
Right, yeah. That makes a lot of sense.
Having anything concrete to stand behind that, I'm no coder by any means. Just by playing adventures and then playing this, it does have that feeling. A lot of the UI is the same. A lot of the background assets are the same. The game just it feels like it plays the same way.
So I think there was a small change to this section too. Not on this portion, but coming up. So
The issue...
Yeah, go ahead.
The issue with content being added or restored is a lot of the content that didn't make it into the game kind of went into other games, and that's kind of what makes a few of us think that it could have been a Vita game just due to lack of space. But that's all just assumptions and nothing to really stand behind anything.
Yeah, so
here in the upper lands, we're now just kind of bringing the Moogles back to their village. We can't really cast all of the magic. We need to save some for the next boss coming up. And because of a couple of little bits of randomness, the Silktails, the purple Rabbites, do give good experience, but it comes to the additive of not killing enemies is faster than killing enemies. And Springbeak is weak to Gnome. So Gnome will get that nice, chunky 100% damage increase. So here, because we ended up missing an Axe Orb, we end up getting 2 out of this chest. It's the game's way of kind of catching you back up. Oh yeah, that doesn't happen here.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah, it's a little further on.
Getting ahead of myself.
We do, however, switch Randy to the axe. The spear's just about capped out. There's a little bit I can go back, a little bit of XP I can go back and get later. But I do want to start working on this.
So unlike the SNES, you do have to go back to this screen and then go to 04. So the only enemies we have to worry about is the owls. They cast confusion.
And it's usually on the lead character, and it's usually as
Yeah.
you're moving. So you immediately start moving backwards.
So in
We'll see that here.
in opening and release, there was a bug. So they didn't add the party member coming together until after the chest was open, which if you played this game on release means you could duplicate sword orbs in Pandora's Castle after wall face. So the any percent run or like opening day patch, you could get access to the mana sword at Kakarika Village by duping money chests in Fire Palace and then duping 8 sword orbs, and you could forge yourself the mana sword. You didn't get the mana sword bonuses off of it from like partial weapon experience. There was also another glitch where the game would give you magic experience before it took the magic off of the character. So if you casted magic on an enemy, despawn them, you could level up magic for free. And those were two of the big glitches where the route greatly hindered on. So when this patch came around, when it got rid of the sword orb duping and the free magic leveling up, it did change the game quite a bit.
So that was Springbeak that made a brief appearance on your screen there. Just kind of the basics of that fight. You can't really hit him from the front. So you just kind of run up and cast Gem Missile on him almost immediately. Just have Randy kind of circle around the back to where he's vulnerable, and that will put Prim in a place where she can come in from the side and also deal damage to him. Just cast an Earth Slide on him and then keep swinging with Randy, and he's gone in a couple seconds.
And so now we have 3 mana seeds. So we are now dealing a whole whopping 9 extra damage from magic or physical. We're almost at the Destroyer of Universe phase. More importantly, we can get freeze to level 3. That's the big thing we care about. You'll see Sylph maybe 2 or 3 times in the run.
I have to see where my escape rope is. That's first and foremost. So it's just kind of a new thing. I swapped the sprite here like immediately after the boss. I'm usually on a different character, so they're set differently in the menu. Or sorry, Jeff. It's Jeff, right?
Yeah.
I believe it's Jeff.
Jeff will be married to the whip for the whole game, just in case we need the times to get over the, like, I don't want to call them whipping posts, but I'm already committed to it. So one character will always have an axe, the other character will always have a whip. And then the third character will have a sword. This is pretty much the weapon setup, just it'll get shuffled around a little bit more, and this will allow us to pretty much handle any terrain situation the game throws our way.
If you have anything, Bob, we're just going to be taking a little stroll through the forest here.
Sorry, I was just sitting back bopping to the music because soundtrack's amazing. Yeah, I've got $50 from Covery May, who said, I was told to vote for Ulberic. Blame Sunny. Smiley face. Octopath Traveler is so cool. I wish the number 8 was real. I mean, so do I. Deniable Credibility donates $25 and said, oh hey, a mana block. I'll donate one for one of my favorite games from my childhood, of having a chance to win that sweet, sweet collection of mana. Keep up the great work, guys. And yes, you can win a collection of mana that was donated by T Murdoch. It's a $10 minimum donation during this run. It closes at the end of this run. So if you want to get in on that, please donate by the end of this run. We're also giving away a Monster Sanctuary key from Moirai Games, who were in the chat during Monster Sanctuary. They were tweeting about us, they donated, and that also runs through the Enter Secret Manor as well, and that is for a $5 minimum donation. So if you want either of those prizes, get your donation in. You can also donate $100 over the course of the marathon in any number of donations and various types, and you can be entered to win a PlayStation 5 with Final Fantasy VII Remake and Tales of Arise. Now, since someone has asked, I'm going to check, and that is a physical? Yeah, it is a PS5 with a physical disc drive. So, yes, that is a physical PS5 with those two games.
So funny enough, with the whip posts, they also clear any they'll clear confusion, which is weird but also awesome. I'll take it because I already confused left and right enough in real life. In Matango, we bought. I wasn't quite paying close attention. I think we bought 4 fairy walnuts.
Yeah, 4 fairy walnuts and just cashed out on cups of wishes.
Yeah. Fairy walnuts are expensive. They're 500 GP and they restore 50 MP. We will never fully utilize these walnuts, but it allows us just to spam magic on bosses where we need it. And then cups of wishes because people will die. Especially in the next areas coming up, because our levels, we are extremely low level for this point in the game, and we just haven't bought any defensive equipment. Once again, back to the older routes. Some of the older routes would buy head, body, and arm. What this would do is not only give you full defense, but because you have 3 pieces of equipment, 3 pieces of defensive gear equipped, your chance of getting a high damage roll is greatly reduced. So instead of you always taking 80 damage, you could have a very high chance to take like 58 or 60. Obviously, once again, with the newer routes, because we're not killing as many enemies, getting that much armor isn't feasible. It's feasible, but it's not RTA efficient.
Oh, no. Okay, I didn't want to cast that.
Doing the gnome strats.
Oh, yeah, I loved it so much I did it twice.
It's a little airborne. It's still good. It's still good. So this boss, you're supposed to use Sylph on, but Freeze does close to what Sylph would do. Sylph's big attack is Thunderbolt for the 61 spell power, but it's 4 magic. So damage versus magic, you'll get more out of a level 1 freeze than you will out of, or 2 level 1 freezes than you will out of a level 0 Thunderbolt.
Did I make it? Okay, I made it. Gotta step on the warp zone here.
So pretty much all the levels we get are just through bosses. And later on, we're going to reduce our evasion even more. So we're definitely going to be taking extreme damage.
The important thing about this cave is that we get Flammy. It's Flammy. Everyone loves Flammy, right?
Oh, cute little Dwaggy.
I'm going to mention this from chat. Who said, Accident says, one thing you can say about King Truffle, he's a really fun guy. It wasn't that funny.
You brought it up. You gotta laugh.
It's true facts.
That guy was a fun guy, too.
So we upgraded the sword to level 4. The Claymore gives us 10 extra damage against lizard type enemies, which what we were talking about isn't a lot, but for the Ice Palace, the 10 damage does go a long way because some of these fights are pretty lengthy. And here, while running to Kakrika before we go into the sand ship, we will be completely dumping all of Jeff's magic, just because we get a free refill on the ship. On the sand ship, when the game first got released, there's a weapon duplication glitch you could do. So you could give go the sword, and then when you get solo property of Boy, you could give Boy the sword. And as long as you never took the sword off go, you'd have two people with the same weapon, which would tie into the crafting of your own mana sword that we were talking about earlier. Unfortunately, that was another one of the glitches that got removed in the 1.0.2 update. It was just like a lot of little fun things you could do.
Okay, so I'm just going to expend the last of that magic, or not. I'm going to do it here then, I guess.
I didn't think you were that far away from the zone.
Well, that worked out somehow or another.
We'll take it.
Yeah, if you get too far away from enemies, they'll despawn. So if you've already targeted them with magic, it just won't even consume the MP and just pretty much will cancel the spell. There's one thing we have to talk about here. So most of the NPCs, pretty much all of them, you can kind of push out of the way like that. With these guards, that's not happening. So you have to pretty much sit here. And oh, there's an opening. Okay.
Oh, no. I was kind of hoping they would have locked you in there for a bit.
Yeah, sometimes you can get memed out, and they'll just turn back towards the staircase and keep walking. And they won't let you out for like a minute or more.
I remember Crow's talking. This wasn't the remake. This was the original. That I think he lost like almost 3 minutes in one run because of those two guards.
Yeah, it's certainly believable. I think I've lost upwards of 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I got to the point where I had to like just retry the screen because they just wouldn't even move. They wouldn't move out of the staircase. That was it. they were committed.
I just waited to see how long time it would waste, then hit the good old Alt F4. I was like, all right, we're done for the day.
It's also a good option. Okay, so anytime the party gets split up, you'll notice that the quick keys on the left and the right are now gone. So what I do is I switch to Jeff here, so I can bring his menu up immediately when I get into the boss fight. Which, it's an interesting one that we have to talk about, because we'll be seeing him a few times.
So everyone ready for their favorite boss, Mech Rider? Nothing has ever gone wrong while fighting this guy. So by emptying Jeff's magic before we get to the sand ship, Freeze should get to level 2 in this fight. Once again, for that 50% damage boost, nice crits. And we're hoping he just kind of
Okay, there we go.
just drives against the rock as we just end up poking at him.
So that was a pretty tame incarnation. It's gonna get interesting a little bit later. This Geshtar he just breaks all the rules of the game. He doesn't. Well, he does have magic attacks, but it's mostly just support for himself. But anytime he spawns one of those missiles on screen, it's almost like a spell because it's gonna hit a target as soon as it spawns. You can kind of lead it on by running around, but eventually it's gonna land somewhere. And they do some big damage. Nothing to sneeze at. But for now, gonna take this cannon and go to Ice Country, which is kind of dangerous in its own right. I'm gonna switch to Prim here, and I've done it a few times earlier, so I'm gonna use her magic to kind of keep her behind, depending on how these wolves want to act. But yeah, it'll isolate her, so I can just maneuver with the other two characters. Let's see what happens here. Sometimes you get speed down, and it's actually pretty good. Oh, I thought I could get away with that.
Oh, nice. I didn't think that was going to go through.
Yeah, so again, you just want to isolate. Oh, God. Okay. Yeah, so I keep getting interrupted here by enemies, but you do want to isolate the characters. Oh. Just to kind of maneuver around. It's very tight in Ice Country, and these enemies do a lot of damage.
Boreal Face is a Dryad element, so no matter which spell you have, you're not going to get an elemental weakness. Dryad doesn't have a weakness. So we're just, once again with Tropicalo, once one of his dancing pumpkins are out, his AI seemingly just shuts down. So by moving Boy around to make sure the pumpkins don't crash into him, we can just keep him above ground and get a little bit of extra damage. Sadly, we don't really have a very walnut allotted to this fight, because we had to use one on the Serpent, which it's not a thing. He usually dies next hit pretty good.
Yeah, that wasn't bad. Sometimes he'll just sit there and give you a one cycle. Or if you get some crit, you'll get a one cycle, but yeah, most of the time you'll clean them up in two.
Someone in chat is asking why 1.2 is a separate category. You can't level up magic for free. You can't duplicate orbs from a treasure chest. You can't forge the mana sword. You can't give the mana sword to multiple people, and you can't use the glove to clip through walls. Are the 5 big reasons.
There's some pretty big reasons.
A mana sword, crafting the mana sword, just gives you such a power spike, and crafting 2 of them especially. The run is only about 10 minutes faster, but it is definitely time you're not going to save back, unless a huge optimization was found.
Small point of order. You said that Dryad had no weakness. Boy seemed to cast Axe a lot in that fight, and it fell over.
It's just effective.
Oh, they got her. Not fully, though. Those turtles are kind of scary. Just like everything else here.
Everything is scary.
Yeah, so Ice Palace is a kind of interesting leg of the journey. So the game does autosave on every screen. However, if you lose everyone here, it will reset you back to the beginning of this section.
How did you not get sandwiched there?
I have no idea.
You wizard.
I just
I thought they gave you the cuddle hugs for sure.
I just held the analog stick and moved in a direction, and I guess that was it. Yeah. Okay, that's all made up here. Looks like we might be getting a reset. Oh, okay.
People believe.
Don't necessarily like losing Prim here, but it should be okay. Or go, go, go. You stopped again.
Ha ha! Callback.
Speaking of callbacks, we're going to call her back to the living now.
Very good. Very good.
I use Monster Reborn.
So this fight can get a little dicey. There's a little bit going on, but really the basics is that you want to burn through 2 MP bars with Sprite. And by burn, I mean use Fireball a lot.
This also sets us up very nicely for Frost Gigas. Here, like I said, with the Claymore, because it deals extra damage to lizards, this fight is quite lengthy. And then we're going to do the same trick we did at the very beginning when we got Undine. We're going to just trap the little guy in a corner the best we can.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Please.
That'll happen. Yeah. Could you stay still, please?
Just stay in the corner.
Okay.
We have treats.
Okay. I don't know which one of them is lower in life, so we've got to be guessing here. Oh, there we go. Don't have to guess anymore.
Well, go really helped you out there. You don't want to pop both Taunt Poles into biting lizards at the same time. The biting lizards, if they can't...
I guess we're... Oh, well, there we go.
Whoa. Commentator curse into runner godlike. So the biting lizards will start trying to eat one of your party members, which does slow down the fight quite a bit. Actually, that was a nice level up.
So, yeah, it's pretty much just a couple rooms here until Ice Gigas. I'm going to try to stunlock him similar to how I stunlocked Fire Gigas earlier.
Similar to how those snowmen stunlock. Go, 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 go.
We're learning and evolving. She wants revenge, and she will have it.
Okay, there we go.
Nice. It's always scary trying to set up the physical stun lock. It's a pretty small window, and once he starts casting spells, it goes downhill quite quickly. Randy is also trying to do the biting lizard and run away from the enemy. He's very scared of Frost Gigas backside.
Okay, so I'm missing a little damage, so I'm just going to keep attacking, and then Boy's going to come in with higher damage. Okay, finish him off. So he should be pretty
Unfortunately, because of the level difference and the lack of accuracy, GAF can't reliably hit, so we're stuck using go for the physical stun lock, unlike with Fire Gigas, where we could use them.
Pause for effect.
The added bonus, we save Christmas.
Yeah. Got a special guest star here, Mr. Claus. And Rudolph.
The red-nosed Doshner.
And the exit out of Ice Country is just as scary as the entrance. In fact, we start with a turtle, just like that.
We start with a turtle, which makes it infinitely worse.
There's a possibility of losing... Oh, there she goes. Yeah, the way that screen's laid out, you can't get far enough away from the enemies to despawn them, so wherever your party lands, that's where they land. They're going to get attacked. Luckily, I have a pretty good surplus of cups here.
I mean, talk about holiday creep. It's not even Halloween yet. Why is Christmas in this game? Bring back Halloween.
We couldn't find Jack Frost from Nightmare Before Christmas.
No, he's in Kingdom Hearts, which is next.
Oh, even better.
You're a game early. It's fine.
We'll have to ask Mr. Claus to stick around then.
That was clearly a scheduling issue then.
So it would appear that the fun guy comment started something. Because you have $1.23 from the Ultimatum that says, the Viper fight was real tricky, considering there wasn't much room for error.
Keep sending in the mushroom puns.
Any
Love
puns
the
at all.
mushroom puns.
I like me a good pun. The best, every good pun is a good reword.
What am I casting here?
Axe.
I did cast Axe.
Sword.
Okay.
Fire
so,
Palace is quite difficult because of the archers. You're welcome.
One thing I don't think we've mentioned yet is in this version, you can cast a spell on an orb and then walk off screen, and it'll still trigger. Yes, exactly.
Boy agrees. I think this is part of Smelly's normal route. This is the first time we encounter a treasure chest with any amount of money that's worth talking about. It's 1,000 GP. So he will be duplicating it a couple of times. This just adds the bank account for a couple of extra safety items.
That was a disaster. Wow.
Everyone,
Okay.
Chobin hoods.
Chat, you saw nothing. That never happened.
It was all just a figment from the mushroom puns. Casting Frost Saber, so when we attack the enemies, they turn into giant snowmen, which will hopefully make it a little easier to get through.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna grab this. About 3 times, that should give me enough money to get the supplies I need to take me through pretty much to the late game.
I mean,
The key you're looking for here is the text box to show up, and then leave the room. If you leave the room before the text box shows up, you don't get the money, but the chest will still remain. In the opening day patch, you would dupe that treasure chest 56 times. So it was very fun to just do this for about 3.5 minutes over and over again.
speaking of opening treasure chests, who looks at a treasure chest and goes, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pick this up over my head, shake it 3 times, and just yeet it into the floor. Like, that's not how you open a chest! There's a hinge!
Oh man, Fire Palace.
You should just cast Axe on it. It's been
I'm
effective
trying.
against everything else so far.
Have to wait here a second because, oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna Neo this arrow here.
Okay, I've been corrected by T-Tree. That is not how I open a chest. Oh, fine.
Everyone loved when Link held items over the head. They were just going for a little bit extra.
So usually you do this cool movement in this room where you cast Frost on that that saber, or Frost Saber was at the beginning here. You cast Frost on that orb and then you run around and hit that hidden button there, and it looks really cool. But because Boy was on fire and Go 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 was dead, that's what we got there.
All right. Now this boss's name is really Minotaur, but I think it's just John Cena. We get unlucky. We're going to get suplexed a couple of times. Sadly, it's not a train, but...
We shouldn't see any suplexes here.
Not if he's John Cena. He's only got 5 moves of doom. If you're taking someone to Suplex City, you are Brock Lesnar! Can you tell I'm a wrestling fan? It's about
So you can
built
see
like
Freeze
Brock Lesnar
doing-
too.
Freeze is still the bulk of our damage, doing anywhere between 90 to 120, where our attacks are doing about 20 to 30.
So for that fight, we come back around to something I said earlier, around Jabberwock. If you hit a boss, certain bosses, when they're in perfectly neutral stance, you'll get that reel back animation, and it's especially pronounced on Minotaur and his successor a little bit later on. So to keep that stun lock going, you can just attack for 0 damage, and then wait for the freeze, and you should be on the right rhythm there. I just snuck in a couple more just to be sure.
Chat has another good reason why that boss is not John Cena. We could clearly see him.
All right, so now we have 4 seeds, which means we went from 9 damage to 16. This is where things are starting to get a little juicy. It is also kind of interesting to note that 1/3 of our physical damage is coming just from the Mana Seed bonus at the moment. And this number is only going to get bigger because we're not going to really be getting any stronger. So since we're flooded with money, we are going to get quite a few Fairy Walnuts, and then completely max out also on Cups of Wishes. And then a couple of chocolate bars, a couple of medical herbs.
I suddenly really want chocolate.
I know. I seen it and I was like, I knew I missed something for this run.
It's also a good time to mention that the item cap is way higher in this game.
There's an option in the settings where you can set it for 4, 8, or 12. Speedrun, we allow 12. Having those extra items is really handy just to stop the breaking the flow of like doing a dungeon, going to a shop, going to a dungeon, going to a shop. This shop pretty much will carry us over until we go meet Jack. If the game decides to play nice.
Well, we do have a second Spiky Tiger on the way. See how that goes.
It's probably a good time for donations. If you got any kicking around, Bob.
There's a few things I could go over right now, but first, I do want to say that while Smelly Troll has clearly got those fantastic guns of his out in that awesome shirt, we are selling t-shirts which would hide those guns over at theyeti.com/RPGLB. That's the Yeti, YETEE.com. $5 from each purchase of t-shirts and or the pin code to Nami directly. Please head over there, pick one of your many favorites, and order yourself some t-shirts. Get some of that swag for yourself. Oh, I just said that, didn't I? Oh, I never thought I'd say the word swag. Anyway, right, back to everything else. We're going to catch up on what is coming up soon. We have a run, as I mentioned earlier, of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix HD by Pessilist. There are some incentives. Fight Armor of the Master is an incentive that is sitting at $20 out of $500. There is a fight to fight No Heart, which is sitting at $45 out of $1,500. And Fight Vanitas Remnant is sitting at $100 out of $500. So yes, you've got some cool stuff coming up that you can donate towards. We've got I'd say about 2 hours left in this run at max. I want to see that total climbing, chat. Let's get hype and let's get some money in here for Nami. Let's do it.
All right, so Northtown Ruins.
Oh boy.
Yeah, actually kind of a scary area. And the second scary is probably behind the forest at the beginning. There's just a lot of enemies that can cast that fire bouquet spell, and sometimes they can catch you right on a screen transition. Hopefully, we don't see that here. Sometimes when they cast, it's like, it's a little too late in the animation, and it's gonna go through and autosave on the next screen, and so you'll get that permanent damage debuff. Sorry.
Or unless you just run around in a circle and pray they cast it instead of doing another one of their 12 other moves they love to spam when you don't want them to.
Other than that, just a lot of enemy dodging here.
A lot of small rooms. Like, the first couple of rooms were small. This one's pretty decent.
Yeah, you have like a lot of tight rooms like this. And that's one thing I really had to get used to. So with Adventures of Mana, you're just maneuvering with one character. I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. Maneuvering with 3 is kind of a different beast. So you have to move close to some of these enemies that kind of bait them and then move away. Is one of the techniques, and then isolating is another technique as well. And I'm just gonna bring go back here.
Oh,
Oh, and I got a fire bouquet.
it's a little airborne. It's still good. It's still good.
Yeah. I'm just gonna
So
move up in
Smelly's-
this corner here.
Smelly.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Well,
all
that-
right.
That's actually
Well,
faster.
like-
Thank you.
Hashtag planned.
So with all the tight rooms here, it's really not advised to move around with one character. Because you can get hit going over that threshold and then get that autosave on the other side, and so all your characters will be zombified at that point. So even if you load the autosave, the damage is still going to calculate in, and you'll have that character lost. Of course, if it's your third character, then you have to load a hard save, which we don't have any of those. I don't know if you're keeping track of that.
So that treasure chest respawning was part of the game's catch-up mechanic. Because we never grabbed the sword orb in the Poto's castle, it's kind of, the game doesn't want you to miss anything. So if there's any treasure chests that will give you an orb, they will respawn until the game thinks you've caught up to where you should be.
Oh, nice. That was very nice for
the
him.
game reloaded for you. This is one of the more troublesome rooms in the game. You can fly by and nothing's worried, or you can reset it 3 or 4 times.
Just gonna kind of try to keep them suppressed here, which is fine anyway. I need some XP for the axe.
That breath attack is stupid. It hits something like, it's a very weak attack, but it hits something dumb like 12 times.
Okay, just gonna give Fairy Walnut here to set up for the next boss fight.
So we do need JF at 14 MP to completely kill the boss. There is a very weird thing. If you listen very carefully, you can hear the eyeball opening sound effect before the eye actually does.
There it is.
And when you hear that noise, his hitbox becomes active even though the eye is still technically closed. And it's a good way to just get in a little bit of extra damage.
Oh, okay. Well, that sucks.
So back to our regularly scheduled program.
Yeah, I think that happened because I started attacking and I couldn't get the, Oh, no.
Oh no, you're okay.
Oh, okay.
I think the axe should be at like, I want to say like 50 or 60.
Yeah, it's probably still low.
You hear that, anytime you hear that level up twing, your brain just instantly goes, oh, something's bad. Especially when you're running the game, like you don't have the luxury of just looking at the top text.
Oh, we're at 86.
Oh, you're a lot higher than I thought you'd
pretty
be.
Pretty far ahead, actually.
You're actually, yeah, you're doing very good for partial weapon experience, especially for this point in the game.
Speaking of, actually, may switch to the sword early. We'll see.
Yeah, for anyone new that's joining, we're avoiding getting a full weapon level on the axe and the spear. The game takes your weapon experience levels and partial, and it uses it for the mana sword calculation. And partial weapon experience is 10 times more valuable than full levels. So if Smelly was to level up with a weapon, he'd lose probably about 140 damage.
It looks like the vampire's cooperating today. So that's something that'll happen in this game too. If there's too much animation on the screen, something will be canceled out. So Vampire took a swipe at me, but you didn't see it.
This is one of those fights he has a 1/3 chance to go up in the air and then a 1/3 chance to come back down to the ground. And you're really hoping he just ends up coming back down. As we were saying, even though our physical damage isn't anything special, it's still better than having two characters kind of just dead in the water.
And actually, we should be all right
because relying
with the axe
just
here.
on magic, it takes a while.
Okay. Yeah, we should be around 90, mid-90s probably. Yeah. There is a strategy to kind of just stay in front of him and bait his attacks. He does come close to the ground, and sometimes he just decides to come down, but a lot of the time he just stays in the air. That vampire doesn't hurt too much, but his successor, like way later on, could cost you a lot of time. And actually, let me switch this out before I forget. That'd be bad. If you have anything for us, Bob, now's a good time.
I do have a $25 anonymous donation to put their donation towards one of the Quest 64 incentive later. So I think this is a good time to give us a bit of a rundown for the awesome runs that are coming up. As I mentioned earlier, there is the Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep run by Pessilist. Then after that, Sanjan is returning from her awesome Mass Effect run earlier in the marathon with Octopath Traveler single story. You get to bid war on that story. After that, we've got Wild Arms coming up by Chaos RTA. Taskbot is making a return to play some Dragon Warrior 2, along with the Axeman, his faithful servant. And then Quest 64 rounds out, well, today at least, and that carries us over into tomorrow. And Bing Chang's going to be playing Quest 64 for us. So there's a lot of awesome stuff coming up over the next many few days. Speaking of which, I do want to give a quick shout out, if you don't mind, to our foreign language restreams. You can find one over at twitch.tv/Le French Restream. That the Le French and Restream all have capital letters. Believe it or not, that is our French restream. And then we have a Japanese restream at twitch.tv/Japanese_restream. Japanese and restream having lowercase letters. If those restreams help you enjoy the marathon, please go and check them out at any point. If not, hang out with us here in chat and enjoy Smelly McTroll playing some Secret of Mana, and we would love to hear from you with your donations. We have been asking for pun donations. We will look forward to seeing what you've got.
So what we've got here is a block. Apparently, that's happening. But now we have the successor to Mantis Ant, the Metal Ant. Should be cleared out here in a couple more turns.
I was genuinely hoping you were going to say the sequel to Mantis Ant Mantis. I don't know why. I just thought that. I was like, yep, that's what's. No, it's Metal Ant.
So Metal Ant is gone, and we're going to go on to kind of the true boss here, which we've seen before. He's made an appearance, but this time it's much more interesting, the fight.
You say that, and it's going to be the most boring fight ever.
I'm hoping for boring.
I'm hoping for boring too. Although for chat's excitement, I'm kind of hoping for a little bit of chaotic.
Okay, chat, let me see it. Hashtag boring or hashtag chaotic?
I'm for chaotic just because I get the comfy job.
Oh, I'm a member of Team Chaos all day. I've been a member of Team Chaos for years. No even numbers in the donation totals. None of that, not on my watch.
So the other side of the Imperial Castle, like after we beat Metal Ant, it just gets populated with enemies that pretty much just run past because their attacks are very slow. And there's only really one significant thing here as far as the speed run is concerned. There's a puzzle that's coming up that we're going to completely skip.
Yeah, sorry, Smelly. Chat is all hashtag chaotic. I'm sorry.
Oh no,
We
they're all
need
like
more chaos.
Chat may be reaching against you here.
Okay, so that puzzle there, you don't have to do it. If you just stand in that corner and hit that top left button with the whip, for some reason that works and you can just walk right on through. And now, Gestar.
There haven't been much changes between SNES and the 2018 version. Mech Rider 2 completely throws everything out the window. For some reason, he has an ungodly amount of magic defense. Even though our freeze is level 4, it will still deal only 1 damage. So we're opting for a slowdown just because we can get more casts out of that in an MP bar. He's really
chaos.
liking Jeff. Yep. So we're losing a large chunk of our damage, which was magic. Thankfully, the Excalibur, we do get a little bit of an added bonus because Mech Rider is considered evil. But he's definitely giving Smelly the gears at the moment. Aww.
Okay. That wasn't too bad.
All right, chat, do we reset and try again, or do we just continue on? I think that went a little too smooth.
On behalf of the marathon, please don't.
That was kind of like boring with a sprinkle of chaos.
Yeah,
So
so he
it
can
was-
get really bad and just kind of zoom around that area, and there's not very much room to maneuver. So he's going to end up hitting someone, and at this point, you're just one shot. So you can end up throwing a lot of resources to get out of that fight.
Boring
Yeah.
with a sprinkle of chaos. Would you say it was churing? Yeah, no, that
Don't know
one.
how I feel about that.
Yeah, me either. I should have workshopped that one better.
It's okay. There's still time.
So here we're just...
So just quickly, how that fight was working there, I figured out a little while ago, if you just kind of run up and with Jeff here, and you cast as soon as you possibly can, for some reason Geshtar will just hone in on Jeff's position and just only target him with the missiles. and so you can just kind of death cancel him out of a lot of pain. So you can just keep casting slowdown, and for the most part, Mech Rider just kind of stays in the same spot there. Once he gets to about half health, he'll start taking off, but he can just stay there. He can just stay there and take damage.
This is the part of the game where the game kind of expects you to do a lot of fetch quests. So you're supposed to go up to the top of lofty mountains, meet with the sage, and he's like, hey, go here and do this thing. And then you do it and you go back to him and he's like, oh, hey, go do this thing. Thankfully, because we know what to do, we can skip the 4 or 5 treks up lofty mountain. Gold Tower is kind of out of sequence from what the game expects you to do, but it gives us access to Luna. So even though this is supposed to be one of the very last things we do, we're gunning it first just because we really want Lunar Boost and we really want Moon Energy. Our life becomes a lot easier after that's in our life.
It'll be a lot easier after this fight as well.
Yeah. So here you're going to start seeing Freeze do either 1 damage or 60 damage. If it deals 1 damage, end up dealing the low roll, which I think is about 70% of the overall damage. We cast Acid Rain, reduce its defense by 25%. Even though we're only taking 10 defense off, that's an extra 10 damage we're getting per physical hit. In this fight, if he manages to stay on the ground, is over in about a minute, but if he manages to stay on the platforms, it could easily be a 2.5–3 minute fight. So here we'll be switching to go to use Fire Bouquet. This isn't to lower his attack. This is just to try to keep that magic stun lock going as Jeff is getting his MP back from the Fairy Walnut.
So he works
some
exactly
of the older
like,
routes.
oh, go ahead.
Some of the older routes would upgrade the bow to try to deal some damage while he was up top. And if you're going for optimal, it's definitely nice for like a safety backup, because dealing any form of damage is better than dealing 0 damage.
So Blue Spiky works exactly like the original Spiky Tiger. Where he gets up on the pedestal there, he will target whoever's closest to his X position. So for the most part, you want to put Sprite over there, or you want to put Jeff over there. Google? Okay.
Oh. You got so many weird bugs that happen in such a short amount of time. It's amazing.
Yeah, that whole sequence is really interesting.
Would you say it's great?
Well, not for me.
Fair.
For me, it is. So Jeff should not have been revived as a Moogle, but 2018 quirks.
Okay, so that's 1 down. Should mention that these bosses have upwards of like 2,000 HP. And so you're chipping away at them with like 30 some odd damage each time.
You have to micro the spells. A lot of the battles is Smelly just smashing L1 to try to get Freeze out as fast as possible. They took out the Tactician grid from the SNES version. So a lot of the battles is mashing L1 to pop up the window at the first available frame possible while moving 2 characters around and hitting X to physically attack.
Oh, he gave me the bad pattern.
And even if with the way the game operates with the AI on attack, even if you could AI script them to use magic, it could be slower. Just because when a character gets to 100%, like you can watch Go 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 in the bottom right corner. She'll get to 100% and then she'll start to actually attack about 1.5 to 2 seconds later.
Okay, so just like Minotaur, you can stun lock him if he's at true neutral. But Gorgon Bowl will give you 2 patterns right off the start. This one was a bad pattern where he doesn't go neutral, really. He just charges and then he shields up. Luckily, I recovered here. I'm just gonna hit him a few times just to keep that lock going. Should be
Looks like
right
he's
on
just
rhythm.
perpetually yawning.
This might take a
This
little
fight-
bit longer, so it looks like I'm getting some low rolls on the freeze here.
This also kind of throws your item, your money route into a little bit of chaos. The next town we're going to be doing the shop in, we're kind of hoping to buy as many items as possible and upgrade the axe a couple of levels. So if you get stuck with Jeff doing a lot of 1 damage rolls, you can end up just being short 1,000 to 1,500 GP very quickly.
So Gorgon Bull's down. We never saw his second phase. He's just been stun locked pretty much the entire fight. And yeah, we're moving on. Gonna grab Lumina here.
So we're gonna get 3 mana seeds very quickly. Lumina's level number 5, so we've gone from 16 to 25 damage. It is interesting to note that during the Spiky Tiger and Gorgon Bull, 2/3 of our damage is mana seed bonus. And getting Lumina will unlock the Moon Palace, which for Luna. Luna, in the 2018 version, you can crit at 0 stamina. So Moon Energy gives you 1 free crit at level 0, and then for every level you upgrade it, you get an additional crit. And then Lunar Boost will increase your attack power by 25%, but decrease your accuracy by 25%. Since we don't have a full set of armor, the evasion, we pretty much have 0 evasion to our name anyways. But the 25% of attack power is very nice, especially since we can guarantee crits. So for the rest of the game, or for the rest of the run, Smelly's going to be having go, cast Moon Energy as much as possible to get that level up for those additional free crits. So now, Jeff will still be dealing good damage with freeze, but the large chunk of our damage now is going to be coming from lunar boosted crits, which you'll be seeing very quickly makes bosses go by quite a bit faster when you're able to dish out 200 to 300 damage a crit.
There's not a whole lot going on in Moon Palace here. Just kind of have to run and pray you don't get energy absorbed.
My mana.
I got pretty lucky there. They targeted Boy. Doesn't have any magic to take, so it's just a loss on their part.
So now we get another boost to 36 damage. And our next stop will be Tasnica. I forget the village's name outside of Lofty Mountain. But there's one
Mandala.
dungeon. Thank you. We'll be going to Tasnica for a free sword orb and fighting a ninja. And then Mandala for a setup, or for get a couple of extra items, get one new piece of equipment, and then just go.
So yeah, immediately upon getting Moon Energy, I'm just gonna cast. Ideally, you want to hit certain, let's say, time hacks here. There are certain points where you want it at certain levels. What I'm going for here is to have it at level 1 by the time I get to the end of Dark Cave a couple sections from now. Okay, gotta remember where I'm flying here.
I can.
Taznica
Taznica
is
is
so
the
easy to
greatest
miss.
mystery of the world.
Is that where Tazbot comes from?
We'd have to ask Dwango.
It's true. Okay, chat, we're coming up on the 1 hour and 50-minute mark here. And I can't help but notice we still haven't broken the $35,000 mark here. We should get to work on that. Get your donations in. There's so many cool things that you can bid for. So many cool prizes you can enter yourselves in for. Let us hear your puns. Let us hear your opinions on the Mana series. Let us know hear your opinions on Flammy's Karen haircut. Look, it's got one. That being said, back to Smelly.
Yeah, Taznica is like a quick in and out. You already have a crit loaded with Boy and a crit loaded with Go. And I'm just going to get some freeze cast in with Jeff, just to move that XP bar along a little bit. There is a certain point where I want that to be level 6.
You can see that nice 192 damage crit to 37 regular attack. Didn't get the ninja gloves. Big Sag.
Yeah, that's a pretty rare drop. In fact, I think the entire time I've been running this game, I've seen it once.
I will be keeping my gloves, thank you very much.
Bob, why?
Because it's cold sometimes. Duh.
Silly me.
So Gemma says something there, and then he kind of just walks off. And then we're going to fly away. And I think it should be noted that you actually can cast Moon Energy in here, but you won't get the full XP bonus.
A character's weapon has to be out to get full weapon bonus. If it's sheathed, you only get half experience rounded down.
I'm telling you, look at Flammy diving out of the sky. That fringe says Karen all over it.
Because none of us are good at math. Watch just invaded this person's home, so we're gonna upgrade the sword first and the axe, just because you can just blow all your money in the shop very, very easy. We will be buying a Ivy armlet, which will protect against the sleep status, which will be very helpful for Boy in a dungeon coming up.
I should probably check this too. Yeah, we're good. Okay. Yeah, so you'll just check your couple wishes inventory and then subtract 2 here for this part. So the other thing Luna gives us access to is Lunar Boost. Prim, can you show him? Okay, there we go. There we go. He's going.
Who?
Go.
Go.
Okay, so I just want to kind of repeat the same thing that I did in Pandora Ruins. Okay, that was excellent.
Except Jeff dies a lot quicker. So for anyone joining in to the stream, the reason he sacrificed Boy and Go isn't because he misclicked on the controller. If you die with a timed status effect, the flag or the timer gets reduced, but the flag doesn't get removed in memory. So you end up making a temporary buff a permanent buff. Now we see a lot of questions being like, does this work for Moon Energy? Sadly, no, because it's not a timed buff, it's an incremental buff. If we could find a way how to just cast Moon Energy once and not do it for the rest of the game, this run would just be very dumb and I'd be very happy.
That would break a few things open.
Yes. It would save us from listening to Come On Luna about 78 times.
Do want to take a stab at these Black Knights here. Occasionally they drop a chest that could be magical armor, which is pretty good. I'm gonna wait for him. Okay. He doesn't want to give it to me.
Is Go 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 legitimately hitting those knights with the flat end of the axe?
I believe that is what you saw there.
Okay.
How effective it is, I can't say.
She's trying to figure out the use of the weapon. The boy's been using it way too much.
Oh, Emberman. Emberman.
The methods are pretty effective. Peach devastated enemies with a frying pan in Super Mario RPG. What is chat's most ludicrous weapon they've seen in a video game? I think for me it would be Shadow Heart's No Way Home, where someone used a giant frozen tuna.
Yeah, get your donations in. Tell us your best puns, your best, your favorite ludicrous weapons. And for the chat, no, Saints Row does not count, and I'm well aware of those games, so no. So yeah, let's see what we've got here. We have a $25, another $25 anonymous donation. Thank you very much. That came in just as I was speaking.
Okay, I guess I'm retrying that screen. That was unfortunate. I got caught with a good old fire bouquet right at the end. Yeah, so I don't like to loiter around here too long, because there are two imps in the vicinity. Okay. So I want to keep the freeze cast going here, but I want to attack with Boy, and every time I land an attack here, I just want to reload him with crits. And everyone's out of MP, so let's go ahead and address that.
Oh, it's a little rough. Once you get Moon Energy or Luna itself to level 2 or 3, you find yourself in a nice rhythm.
That's gonna hit someone. Oh, just got a good natural crit there.
The crit rate on the Masamune, which Boy has now, is pretty high. I think it's 60 or 70%. Or at least it kind of feels that way. It feels like you're going to get a crit more often or not.
Okay, this awful place is behind us now. Yeah, Dark Cave just ends up being one of those sections that's kind of like right in that sweet spot before you get Dryad and you can reflect spells, where enemies can just kind of do what they want to you, and you kind of have to maneuver around that. So this section and Cave of Trials is usually a pretty fun time. It's all the chaos. It's all the chaos. So just grab Shade there. 7th Mana Spirit, and we'll be getting the 8th soon enough. But even before that, I'm going to get a game over.
That B360 no-scoped you. He was waiting for you.
It's because the B wasn't there at Gaia's navel. Okay, that was rude. Let's see. Let's continue on here.
It's one of the downsides of just never grabbing equipment is you just don't last very long. You can see Randy took 2 hits and has the biggest hit point pool out of all of them, and is already pretty close to needing a cup of wish.
I'm sorry, who did you say got 2 hits?
Oh, sorry. Boy.
Much better. Thank you.
Bob's like that little angel on the shoulder, just reminding you every time you do something wrong.
Wrong side of the shoulder, my friend.
Okay, I don't like the sound of that spell, so we're just going to cross here. Do this, and hopefully just run straight in. Okay. Yeah. So it's just going to get chaotic in here by default. And I hope for the boring run to the end, but that literally never happens. There's a lot of enemies in here that can just cast wall and reflect your spells, and they can cast burst. Yeah.
Why did I never realize that character's a duck-billed platypus? Huh.
Okay.
All right.
That happened.
So the pretty much the plan going forward is Primcast Moon Energy on anyone that has HP. Or sorry, go. Jeff will kind of magically stun lock the troublesome enemies with freeze, and then Boy just runs from point A to point B.
There's the burst.
Oh.
Luckily, I was crossing, so yeah, none of that. We'll have none of that. Oh, we'll actually have that. There it is.
Okay. The game disagreed, good sir. Who's tired of already hearing magic ball? Everyone in chat, just put your hands up. Or emote.
Oh, there. Okay, somebody's
I
dying.
need to hear it more.
There's that. I'm gonna go straight forward here. See actually what happens. Sometimes if you lose a character towards the end of this section, their shadow clone won't spawn in here. Which is definitely not the case here.
I love the panic and the speed up. There's 2 ways you can defeat these clones. Either deplete their hit points. Boy has 999. Go and Jeff will have 800. Or you can have them kill off your characters, revive them, which will also remove them from the screen. If you got some good levels on Luna, killing them is slower, but it is the much safer option. Because if you end up getting a party wipe here, you have to do the whole walk over again.
Okay, that was Cave of Trials. Luckily we get Dryad, like pretty much at the beginning of the next section. Also, there's a boss there, so I kind of want to load up with crits here.
Is that a platypus, a bird, or a dinosaur? yes.
The answer is always yes.
Yes.
Unless it's no. Okay, where am I going? Mana Palace? It's definitely not that way. It's this way. There it is. Okay, so of the Emperor's minions here, we have Sheik's up next. He's gonna make a brief appearance. Pretty much just gonna mash here, get the acid rain out. And try to get some freeze in before, okay, he's gonna do that. Okay. This is happening. And there he goes.
Hello, watermelon. Goodbye, watermelon.
Yeah, eventually he'll cast Wall and we'll start reflecting that. But it's pretty easy to take him down before that even happens.
Have you ever seen a watermelon that takes a bite out of you?
I have today. I think he just jumped on me at this point, though.
He just wanted cuddles.
That was not the right spell.
Lucid Barrier protects you against physical damage. Thankfully, in the remake, you hear an audible sound when you get hit, but you don't really know if the barrier's gone or not. Thankfully, in the speedrun, we always assume one hit. It's basically leading up to be a free life. Where Wall is, if you cast it on a solo party member, it will repel 3 spells and then adds an extra spell per level. Or if you multicast it, it repels 1 spell.
Yeah, I didn't quite get that Lucid Barrier in, so I'll do it here.
Lucid Barrier is often used just to try to keep Cups of Wishes in your inventory.
Okay, it came into play there. Someone got hit somewhere. Hopefully we don't find out who. So Boy's gonna trade the sword for the axe just for this little stretch. Again, you can only clear this stuff with the axe, and you want to be casting spells with the other 2.
In the opening day patch, you could avoid going this way and going to the left. Square in the 1.0.2 update moved where the switch is, so you could no longer do this kind of little small sequence break. It doesn't save a lot of time, but it was just nice not having to go through the kimono wizards.
Okay. I guess I'll do it this way then. You need to go back in the game here. You don't want to loiter here too much either. Luckily I got alright, luckily they targeted Boy there again. So Hydra, you just kind of attack with your standard game plan here again. try not to overlap your spells too much.
So there is one thing that Smelly was talking about earlier on. The game doesn't like when there's multiple animations on the screen. So one thing you do have to watch about while spamming Moon Energy is sometimes, even though Undine will disappear, Freeze won't start casting until Moon Energy is completely off the screen. So you can actively find yourself in a very bad situation because now the boss can use spells and abilities that you just don't want to see.
All right, so that's kind of the first level of Mana Palace, and now we're going down to the second level. For some reason, it's a subway.
Eat fresh.
In these ancient ruins. So you can take a gamble here. You can not cast Wall and potentially get a bunch of spells spammed at you. So I'm going to be doing that. And we'll see how it plays out. Good job, Loosen Barrier.
Yeah, if you're going for a serious PB attempt, you'd buy as many items as you could in Mandala. You would stock up on Nico, and that would fit you for the rest of the game. So using Lucid Barrier here definitely helps keep those Cups of Wishes. You could rely on Revive. I forget the Dryad spell.
Yeah, we'll just call it that.
Yep.
It works.
Ladies and gentlemen, our experts.
I don't know if it's like Revive or Revivify or...
For the record, I actually forget the spell name too.
So
It's the one
to Google.
It's the one that brings your characters back to life. Oh, that was very close.
Oh, it's Revivifier. How could we forget that? Silly us. Yes, I mean the spell that isn't called Phoenix Down.
I'm going to place my money on the fact that you Googled that.
So this room can get a tad chaotic. I'm gonna drop Jeff off there, and hopefully he doesn't come any further.
Oh, so there's a really fun set of circumstances that can happen. If you end up attacking an enemy close to a switch, Jeff will hit the switch, but because the switch doesn't use up stamina, Jeff will just repeatedly attack over and over and over and over again. And it happens so fast, you can only move about 1 or 2 pixels at a time. So you're perpetually just stuck there as he's trying to hit this enemy for 0 damage.
Actually, this is a very good section. I don't think there's been one spell cast. Yeah, usually you come through here and you get like thunderbolts and all sorts of madness. Everyone's very calm today. But I'm still going to cast Loosen Barrier here. Just in case. I'm going to leave them behind and run over to this boss. But not before getting crits. So these guys are back. And I gotta say, they
upgraded their robot.
They were mildly successful the first time.
So they have a robot and multicolored outfits. Are they Power Rangers?
Team Rocket.
Okay, yeah.
Hi, Kilroy. Bye, Kilroy. This boss has just an absurd amount, or such a low amount of HP. It's kind of weird. Everything around here has like 2,400 to like 3,000. This guy's got like 14.
It can get a little sketchy. So there is a window you have to kill it within, or else he'll cast Loosen Barrier. And that's when none of your attacks will get through. So you pretty much just have to reload the save.
So this part of the dungeon is just one giant puzzle. There's 7 orbs we have to hit. Each one of them uses one of the different elements, or 8 orbs, sorry. One of them uses each of the different elements in the game. It doesn't matter if you hit it with like Analyzer or Speed Down, it just has to come from that element. So a lot of it is just popping into a room, selecting the spell on the orb, because the orb will never despawn if you're a certain distance away. Like, obviously if you leave the room it will, but so this is Undine, and then after this we will be using the magic rope, because starting off at the front of the dungeon is faster than running through it. And this is if you're going for the platinum trophy for the equipment. This is one place you'll probably spend quite a bit of time in. There's quite a few of the enemies that drop, I think it was like a 3 in 64 chance to drop like a chest with it being the rare equipment. On the bright side, you get super buff. On the downside is you could be here a very long time. But thankfully, with gaining MP on a level up, it does make it go by pretty quick. Yeah, the adding the equipment trophy was very bad. I don't know if it was bad. It kind of has you do everything in the game.
Yes.
Me personally, I'm just not a fan of stuff like that.
Yeah, it seems the same as probably the Adventures of Mana trophy set. As you're maxing out every single class and getting to level 99 and getting all the equipment, so they probably just, I would assume, just modeled it after that.
Yeah.
Well, to a degree. So you get lots and lots of moon energy casts here. In fact, you almost get to level 5. Just because you can cast, as soon as you enter one of these rooms, you can cast on Boy, and then Jeff can go and cast whatever spell he needs to cast, and then you can cast on Prim.
We ideally want Luna to be level 6, preferably level 7 at endgame.
Oh, this is, yeah, right, yeah. So there's just one room in here, right here, where you have to cast Loosen Beam. Throws me off every now and then. Yeah, and if you have anything for us, Bob, now's a good time. A lot of this is just kind of rinse, repeat.
Absolutely. I have a $10 donation from Snowfire, who says, "Come on, Luna. Come 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 on, Luna." And then expects me to repeat that 78 times. What kind of mug do you think I am? No, that's all you're getting. But enough already. And then we have $10 from Cyril, who says, "I put so many hours into the original SNES version of Secret of Mana with my younger brother and childhood friends, so I knew that I needed to make a donation during this run. I somehow never managed to beat the game despite all of that time. So watching Smelly so thoroughly and masterfully take apart this remaster It's just what I needed to inspire another attempt at finally conquering the classic. That's an...
All right, that's what we like to hear.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, an update on the upcoming bid incentives. Fight Armor of the Master in Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep is at $20 out of $500. Fight No Heart is sitting at $45 out of $1,500. And Fight Vanitas Remnant is sitting at $100 out of $500. So that's the next run up, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. Get your donations for that in now.
All right, coming up on the end of this section. So we're gonna go
Thankfully for the... Go ahead, sorry. I was just
yeah, we're gonna
talking
coming up
nonsense.
on like a mini gauntlet of sorts. So we're gonna have a mini boss and then followed by two bosses. One of them might look familiar to you. And it's actually quite annoying, believe it or not. Oh, I'm kind of sad about that. Okay, so what that means is I'm going to have to cast another crit stack onto Boy, because whenever you die, you lose it. I'm just going to wait here. I'm going to cast, and then we'll go take out this upgraded Biting Lizard, who's patiently waiting over there.
Totodile.
Okay.
Oh, okay, Totodile had your number. Oh.
That wasn't a good plan.
Okay, it's going a little side. It's a little airborne. It's still good. It's still good.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that was a good plan. Shout out to Lucid Barrier. Okay, there he goes again.
Shout out to Moon Energy.
This is where, again, I remind you that last donation talked about Smelly taking this game apart thoroughly and masterfully.
he's showing the good people what not to do. This run's been going too smooth.
Yeah, it's a teachable moment here.
Nah, that's it. Yeah, definitely.
If the game didn't reuse enough bosses already, how about another reused boss? Right after this one. I forgot this one was here.
Yeah, they just kind of throw Hexus in at the end. Oh, at least he's not going to be around for very long.
Exus is kind of super interesting. I think she's got 4 phases. And she keeps changing as like the battle goes through and more damage you do. She's got a lot of like interesting attacks that we just completely ignore.
Should take her out here. Yeah, there we go. So my second favorite thing about this run is how the ticker at the top just kind of goes crazy at the end.
It's trying to go through the backlog of everything. I think Thanatos is the best just because it's one of the longer fights, or like Thunder Gigas, where it's on there for about 20 seconds after the battle's done.
Yeah, that's Thanatos if he doesn't want to play whack-a-mole with you.
Alright, so this is the boss that's definitely not reused. This is one fight you want to go in definitely with a full stack of Moon Energy and Lucid Barrier. For obvious reasons, you don't want Wall. So if you get lucky, you can kind of skip Mech 3 using Wall. Because it's Wall level 5, you have to cast Dispel Magic 8 times to get rid of it. while the rest of your party members are kind of just running around after him, trying to poke him and hopefully don't get ran over by the motorcycle.
He has no MP.
Oh.
Ah, man, okay. That was my opening there.
Yeah. As you can see, we're very much getting to the point of the game where if anything comes in contact with us, we just don't make it out.
Okay,
This is another one of those fights where
I'm completely lost as how many spell had to cast him up to now.
it's one of those fights where it goes good, it goes really good, and if it goes bad, at least you get a lot of cardio in.
Oh, I finally get. Oh, okay, never mind. Someone order chaos? Because there's some chaos on the screen right now.
You know what? It came late, but I'm happy it came.
Okay, he should be just about done here.
He should be pretty close. Yeah. Oh, all right. This is the chaos we were hoping for on Mech 2. It's just a little more entertaining on Mech 3.
All right, so we're getting to kind of the end game here. Only 2 more areas left. The next one is fairly short. It's pretty much just a boss rush, and then we're gonna have the final dungeon. As soon as Flammy stops circling here. Here we go. Your line is always pretty easy to pick out. Go to the giant mountain. Okay, and I want to get a cast of Loosen Barrier in here. And just run to the exit. And then I want to get Jeff outfitted for the next fight. Do that, run around with the boy. That wall's gonna go up.
It's very important that Jeff goes into the next fight with Lucid Barrier and Wall applied. You don't need both, but it is kind of a just cover your bases. So Dragon Worm, if it does any spell casts that come from a element, it's magic, and if he does any other attack, then it's deemed physical. So we bait Jeff out in front to kind of take the damage. Unfortunately, we got a physical with the balloon ring.
Okay, how am I gonna do this? Okay, like that.
Yep.
Yeah, Dragon Worm is probably the toughest fight in this area. If anything goes wrong, the fight just goes south very quickly.
Yeah, this is the risk of going in with low levels and no armor. It's a very much, you're just a complete glass cannon.
Let's see, I guess I'll use my last couple wishes here. Okay. Luckily, I have more crits. There we go. So, boy's gonna lose some weapon XP. That's fine. Can just make that up later.
I have a fever, and the only prescription is more moon energy. Yeah, Dragon Worm is definitely the biggest threat out of all the bosses in the Pure Lands. Even though Thunder Gigas has the most hit points, he is still pretty tame.
Thought I cast freeze there. Yeah, so you just want to be casting with both of them just to give them iframes and to lock them in place.
It's kind of hard to tell if you're hitting the dragons or not, just because they sit so high up. What I usually use to make sure is just, if I see the text boxes saying about a crit, I'm hitting them. If I don't see it, then I gotta move a little bit closer or a little bit further away.
It's a little rough here. Just pretty low on resources. And the dragon just so happened to hit Prim.
We are casting Acid Rain to start this off. It is a good 50 to 60 damage increase. And since we're not very reliant on spells for damage, and we can just pound out attacks as fast as we can mash the X button, lowering the defense does pay for itself in these fights.
Okay, as long as these two are alive, we're good.
Touch the bot.
Yeah, that tail is a pretty slippery target. Unfortunately, there's a lot of dragons in Pure Land. There's a few other bosses kind of sprinkled in between. Most of them are just repeats of bosses we've seen before. The dragons are really the only unique ones.
It felt like when they cut down the game, they left all the bosses in it. So a large chunk of the run just feels like a giant boss rush. Especially more like Pure Lands and near the end of Underground Palace, just because there's not a lot to do in between them.
Okay, alright, I got to tap out of that. So, what happened there is what I mentioned earlier. I did lose Prim and an autosave there. Unfortunately, I don't have any resources, so I've got to make a quick trip at Kakara, which is fine because it should cover me for the rest of Pure Land and then all the way through Mana Fortress.
We rich.
Yeah, you can kind of just buy whatever you want at this point. There's so much money, and you don't really have anything to spend it on.
In the older routes, we would buy armor off of Neko when he sets up shop in the Underground Fortress. But if you're trying to go for a really optimized time, going to that shop it's about 2 minutes, and you get the time back and like not having to heal, but you're not going to save anywhere near that 2 minutes. So once again, just casting spells with Go 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 and Jeff at the start. This keeps them safe and resistant to a good amount of damage at the start of the screens.
Luckily, if you leave Pure Land, you don't have to fight the bosses again.
The 2018 version gives you an option to increase your inventory from 4, 8, or 12. For the speedrun, we use 12. There's no reason really to set the arbitrary limit of like setting it at 4 for SNES.
Okay, that was a little scary. Okay, so I think Springbeak, Axebeak. Axebeak is the next one. His appearance will be just as brief as Springbeak.
He's actually a downgrade because he doesn't have the shield on front.
Okay, there he goes. Yeah, so with the crit stack at six,
He really tried.
yeah, you end up just being able to annihilate bosses. Some of them are a little bit trickier than others. We'll be seeing Vampire again, and he can just kind of do whatever he wants to. But for the most part, that's kind of your standard approach. If you have anything for us, Bob, it's a good time here as well.
All right, I have a $50 donation with no donation comment from the Axeman, loyal servant of Taskbot. Thank you for that, Axeman. And then Denial Credibility is back with $25 saying, I am loving this run. Played the heck out of this game as a kid, and watching the remake, I am struck by how gorgeous it is. And the music is still as great as ever. But can someone tell these three goobers that they're using the whip wrong? If you're trying to pull yourself across a gap, whipping the post and then pulling the whip away and just jumping across isn't really all that efficient.
Never thought of it that way. My life has forever changed.
So, Boy, Jeff, and go, you three goobers, you are using the whip wrong. There you go. I have told them.
Okay, so this next leg of Pure Lands can get pretty hairy. There's a few screens where enemies just kind of start off right in your face. And even if you attack and try to outrun them, they can cast spells on you. So we'll see what happens. This is not one of those screens, but this is. Okay. Got safe passage there. What about here? Maybe here? Nope. Okay.
Oh, you take a different route.
Yeah, that second pebbler can cause some issues.
Oh, you're in the bad corner.
Okay, I can fix it here. I think. Oh, there's Gigas. That's okay. He's pretty easy.
Thankfully, it gives us plenty of time in the start to set up. Thunder Gigas has the most hit points out of any of the bosses in this area. So you can see Freeze doing a lot of work, even though Smelly got unlucky and didn't get the physical stun lock. Thunder Gigas wasn't able to move very much in his animation, and he won't cast the spell until his animation's done, which is him putting like his hands over his head and crushing an orb.
Maybe that's where Jeff got the idea for the treasure box.
I see, yes. That makes so much sense, copying it from a Gigas he'd never met before.
Yes, that's how the story
absolutely,
goes.
Absolutely, yep.
So they say.
It came to him in a dream.
Hashtag canon. Yes, Ashen, the canon is the fast travel. Thank you.
Okay, that's him.
proper Dargan.
That's the last boss in Pure Land. Yeah, since I have enough supplies, I'm going to be taking off straight to the Mana Fortress.
Blue Dragon tried to get away, just couldn't do it.
It's pretty funny on Snow Dragon, and I think you can do it on Blue Dragon too. If you kill them and you're pretty close to kind of the warp zone, you can sort of unlock the screen and just run down an infinite hallway. It has absolutely no use, but it looks cool. It also loses you time because you have to run backwards to hit the warp point.
All the cool stuff always loses you time.
So we're just gonna get like a cutscene for a good minute or so here, where Thanatos is taking complete control of the Mana Fortress, and Randy meets his mother and quickly says goodbye.
Also, I think Thanatos messed up. He had one shot, and he could have got rid of the rivals, but instead he shot for the tree.
I was actually moving that. That was interesting. Okay. So I'm going to just cast Loosen Berry so I don't have to do it on the other side. And that'll happen while Flammy's coming to scoop us up and take us to the final dungeon.
Turn haircut.
And yeah, since Boy wasn't around for a couple of those boss fights, I'm gonna have to make up a little bit of weapon XP here.
So how long has Thanatos been in control of the Mana Fortress?
Since we went to Mana Palace a couple sections ago.
And he's had time to mechanize the whole thing. This doesn't look very mana-y to me.
I bet you Clippy from the old Microsoft Word tutorials had something to do with it. He drove him to it, I'm sure of it.
I'm like, this person has an impressive workforce.
I bet you'd like to take over the world.
I just wanted to know where the cafeteria was.
Was that level 3 Mana Sword? I think that was. No, okay, that was level 1 axe.
Oh, I'm being correct in the chat. Apparently it's a relic of an ancient war from long ago. But it probably was Clippy. So...
Well, Clippy is also a relic from long ago.
Can't it be...
True facts! Wow. Wow. I suddenly feel older than I do on a regular basis.
Can someone tell me why the remake is so loathed? It didn't have a good impression on launch, and it perhaps remained a little too faithful to the SNES. It definitely feels like there's a lot of things they could have changed with the game for more quality of life than what they did. The game was also very prone to having crashes or just causing hard locks.
A spear.
Oh, nice.
Interesting. Yeah, okay.
Nice 3 out of 64 drop. All right, plat run, go.
I'm just gonna make up a little bit of that weapon XP here. We're actually really low.
All right, coming up is Vampire King, I think the new name's called. He's another one much like vampire, you're just hoping he comes back to the ground very quickly so you can unload a bunch of crits on him. This is a fight that infinitely becomes slower if he ends up staying in the air.
It looks like, oh, okay, okay.
Oh,
Aww. Okay.
nice. Nice. Get him!
Okay. All right. All right. All right. He was nice.
All
this
right, we
time.
got three. We got 3 bosses left.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. Two of them will use the same game plan. One of them won't. The final boss is a bit more complicated. Also here, I want to start using Dryad spells to get them at level 1 at the very least.
So, Gogo will stop using, or start using Wall. Jeff will start using Sleep Flower. As Smelly was mentioning, this is to help with the Mana Sword duration when you cast it from Dryad. There's still a chance that you end up getting the low roll for duration. You can still deal decent damage, but near the end of the run, getting a 0 cycle kill compared to a 1 cycle kill is about 70 to 80 seconds. And it's really just nothing you can do about it. It's all up to just, did you hit the right frame where the game's going to allow you to get it or not?
Okay, I want to be careful not to do one thing here. To cast Wall. It may or may not have happened before. Another thing with this boss, it's kind of hard to tell where the hitbox is sometimes. Not always in the center like that.
Unlike Lime Slime, Lime Slime gets smaller. This guy gets bigger. So it just makes everything a lot more difficult. Where isn't the hitbox? The hitbox on that boss is... It looks like the giant spinning orbs in the middle, but it isn't. It's like the sword has to hit the middle of the sprite or close enough to it.
No, that actually went off, huh?
Actually, the mitochondria.
Oh, you tried to hit me. I see you. We're just gonna get some MP off you. Or XP even.
So Smelly is trying to get his sword as close to the level up before getting to the final boss as possible, really to just really maximize that partial weapon experience for the Mana Sword bonus. Alright, so Jeff's got his Dryad at level 1.
Oh, he actually... Okay. I wasn't expecting that. That was
You might as well
weird.
you might as well grab it. It's just another orb.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Oh, okay.
Oh,
right.
all right.
Okay.
Now it's definitely an orb.
It is an orb-shaped object.
Yes, in Ninja, they do drop really good armor. You can get a lot of the best armor in the game if you want to farm for the chest drop and the rare. such a very power up. Wow.
That happened.
That was perfectly timed. That crab was waiting for his moment.
Yeah, he knew. I even waited for the attack there. That's
This room always throws me off.
do this while we're waiting. Okay.
You guys, you two did
happening.
good. I think they survived for a whole 5 seconds.
Oh, she's out of MP. That's why she's not casting anything. Silly me. I just hit the button and expect her to cast. Okay. Something went wrong here.
Oh, energy absorb.
I think I'm just gonna retry this screen.
Oh,
That went terribly wrong, and now we have
This
a
is
ball
going
coming.
downhill.
Yeah. It's funny. It's like the final screen of the game. No, basically.
I like that eyeball. When you're not expecting it, you run forward, he shoots his attack, and all three of you just run into it, and you're just like, well, time to reload the room.
Oh, this is good, actually. Okay.
Oh.
You can stop killing now. I'm actually gonna switch to the spear here for a second.
Maybe switch to like the fists.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's a better idea.
Because the spear, 1 or 2 kills, you could end up in a very sticky situation.
So you're saying Muscle Wizard will finally cast Fist?
Yes.
So it's interesting. I don't know why
Oh,
I chose to hang out in that room when there's no enemies here. Very, very interesting decision on my part.
I respect it.
And I should oh, you know what? I'm gonna need to switch to like some kind of, other weapon here in a minute. Because we are so close. If I kill Thanatos with a sword, it's gonna go over for sure.
You could maybe get the kill with Prim and get the partial. That's still
But that wouldn't be fun.
dancing a little too close.
What if? What if? So it doesn't matter until you land like the killing blow, like what weapon you have.
Yeah.
So,
Are we gonna punch him to death?
that may be on the horizon here. If you have anything, Bob?
I was absorbed in the Muscle Wizard. I apologize. Yeah, I just want to let everyone know what is coming up later today as we are nearing to the end of this run. We have a Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep run coming up here soon. It's being run at critical difficulty, I do believe. And at level 1. Then we have an Octopath Traveler run coming up after that, being run by Sanjan, returning after the awesome Mass Effect run that started the marathon. Wild Arms is up next. Chaos RTA is running that one. Taskbot is back to play some Dragon Warrior 2 after that at any percent. And then quest 64 is after that from Bing Chan. So there's a whole lot of RPG remaining in the day. And then we got more days to come. It's only Wednesday. So get your donations in now to benefit NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. We've been supporting them for a very, very long time. We tried to try and limit break here from Salt Lake City in Utah. NAMI we've been supporting since the beginning. It was formed in 1979. It's a grassroots advocacy organization. A group of parents started it whose children suffered with some serious mental illnesses. And they've maintained that focus to their day. They are laser focused on making sure that people with mental illness get help. Because it is not a bad thing to admit you are not okay. So please get your donations in and let's raise some money for such a great, great cause. Speaking of which, Porsyth donates $50 and says, "Good luck for the end of the run, Smelly."
Thank you. Gonna need it here. Let's hope Mana Beast does exactly what I want. Do you want to kind of
Okay, chat, you know what to do.
A little bit, Nine? Because there's just a lot of moving pieces here.
Honestly, I was hoping you would have, so I could have just trolled with chat, but okay. So, there's a lot of moving parts that happen with the Mana Beast. The Mana Beast has stupidly high defense at 450, so Acid Rain, basically reducing it by 90 is huge. We'll be starting off the fight by casting Mana Magic, just to get rid of the cutscene. And this will kind of just get us, kind of starts the setup. Because it allows you a little bit more time to set the Mana Beast up himself for the quick kill. Because even though Mana Beast is going to be a football field away, as soon as he starts moving towards us, we can start targeting them with spells. So, Lucid Barrier is going to go up to protect us from the Flame Whirl attack. And then we kind of just sit and wait for a little bit. We'll be renewing the Lucid Barrier when we get about 2 loops on the Flame Whirl. And then as soon as the Mana Beast starts to come closer, Smelly's going to cast Acid Storm on it, cast Mana Magic with Go, and then cast Gem Missile. And then while Gem Missile's going off, is going to cast Mana Magic with Jeff. And this will get the defense down. We'll have 1/2 of the Mana Sword damage in. And we use Gem Missile, once again, just because at level 2 it does have a longer animation than Freeze at level 7. So we're very carefully positioning Popoi close to Mana Beast. Mana Beast will always cast Wall on itself as its first action. So one of the downsides of the Mana Sword is it removes all the perma buffs we put on ourselves. So even though we don't have the 25% attack boost, the Mana Sword, as you can see from the partial weapon experience, just deals absurd amounts of damage. And if we end up getting a long enough duration...
I got rolled.
We're probably about halfway to 2/3 through its HP at the moment. Kind of got unlucky with the duration. But that's nothing that Smelly did wrong. That was just the game giving him the short end of the stick. So once again, second verse, same as the first verse. Except we're not going to worry about Acid Rain or Gem Missile. We're just going to put Jeff out front as bait. And then just try to kill as quickly as possible.
All right. We got to level up,
GG's.
and time is going to be as soon as the screen fades out. Right here.
And the sword level up to boot.
Finishing
Very
up,
clean run, sir.
finishing up with an app time of 2 hours, 57 minutes, and 27 seconds.
All right. There's one more thing I want to see here. So this game is funny in that you can reach the end, and sometimes it will not even give you credits music. So let's see. Oh, okay.
Ah, got the music. Sad panda.
Yeah, so that's Secret of Mana Remake, HD 2018, whichever one you want to call it. Thank you to RPG Limit Break for allowing me to come and showcase this game for everyone out there. Really appreciative of that. It's raising money for a really good cause. Yeah. Dine, you have anything you want to say? Or?
Oh, thank you for allowing me to commentate this. It's always a lot of fun, good sir. Thank you to RPG Limit Break. It's always nice to see a game like this and many others in the great lineup being shown to such a wide audience. Everyone behind the scenes, everyone that puts in work for the tech.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Just fast forward this so we get some music here at least. Yeah, over to you, Bob.
All right, let's hear it one last time for Smelly McTroll and Dine. Now, come on, we can do better than that. Louder! Let's hear it for Smelly and Dinatari. Smelly, thank you for an awesome run. We are going to throw it to a very quick Twitch advertisement. We will see you in 3. Okay, gang. We're back from the ad. Welcome back to RPG Limit Break 2022. It's been an absolute honor sitting in this chair for Secret of Mana. Coming up after me, Alicel's going to be taking care of that. And I wouldn't be me if I didn't do my traditional sign-off. So I'll say that right now, which is guys, gals, and non-binary pals. In the words of the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, be excellent to each other. And party on, non-gender specific honorifics. I'll see you for the finale. That being said, I'm now ready to throw it over to my good dear friend Jay Hobbs, not the Pip-Plop Jay Hobbs, the actual Jay Hobbs, who's going to be interviewing our next runner, Pessilist. Take it away, Jay Hobbs.
6 feet away from me over there, pretty much. As he mentioned, I'm Jay Hobbs, and I'm joined by Pessilist, our runner of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep All Stories, coming up in just a moment, but a runner of many fantastic video games. So how you doing, dude?
Yeah, I'm great. How are you, dude?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited for this run. I talked about it in the pre-show back at the beginning of the week that I think All Stories is really cool. We've gotten to see individual stories here and there, but what do you really like about All Stories?
The best part about All Stories is just the three characters' roots are so drastically different, despite being the same game, going through the same levels, having a couple bosses reused here and there. Despite all of that, the characters have to approach these things in such drastically different ways. And you'll see, we'll start out struggling, then it'll get broken, then it'll get more broken, and it gets pretty crazy from there.
That's true. It's true. So, what draws you to Birth by Sleep over, say, Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2, kind of the biggest popular ones?
Yeah, to me, and I don't know if this is controversial, to me, the other Kingdom Hearts games play more like action games in terms of the speed runs, where it's, you have the action boss combats and the retaliation and combos, etc. Birth by Sleep plays like a deck building game.
That's true.
It's much more of an RPG where all of our things are governed by commands, which are essentially, it's literally called a command deck. It's a deck of commands we can do that you have to manage throughout the run and meld together. And it gets very complicated with the routing, and I've always been drawn to that. It's like you change one thing in the route, the whole thing topples over, and you have to start from scratch. And I love the challenge of that.
Now, I know with this run, RNG can potentially play a little bit of factor here. How big of a factor are we talking about? Like, how much could it potentially just make or break the run?
Well, it's going to determine if we load a safety save in the first 3 or 4 minutes, and then after that, we'll hopefully be okay. The estimate's generous enough; it'll hopefully be all right. But RNG, there can be a lot of few deaths from RNG because level 1 critical, 2 or 3 hits. If the boss does something I'm not anticipating or I don't have the resource I feel like I should have, things happen.
Yeah, you led me right into the next question perfectly. Level 1 critical mode. So, tell us why level 1 crit and why it might be faster than people actually expect.
Because EXP 0 is busted in this video game, and I'll leave some of the surprise for later. Yeah. But we're doing a lot more damage than we really should be doing on level 1. Aqua and Ven's stories are faster in an any % run than beginner because of things you will see. And yeah, it gets very weird and very interesting.
Mm-hmm. So as part of All Stories, we're going to be seeing a couple parts of Birth by Sleep that we've actually never seen before on really like a major marathon, final episode and secret episode. Was prepping for those any kind of extra, added difficulty? Were they a big part of why you wanted to show off All Stories, or was it more about the characters? Tell me a little bit about that.
Sure. For me, it's just showing off the characters and everything they do is a bit more interesting. I think Final and Secret have a lot of cool stuff, and I'm excited to show it off. Hopefully, I'll be able to show the one major sequence break we have in the game at the end of
that'd be cool.
Secret. Hopefully, but yeah, what wasn't the most challenging thing in the world. Now I said that I'll die there. It should be fun.
Of course, gotta jinx yourself. There's also even some more added difficulty potentially in some of the incentives that we have open. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the boss incentives that people can be donating towards right now?
Yeah, we have Vanitas Remnant, which is a boss. It's like I could say that much.
That's kind of our appetizer,
Yeah,
boss.
that's really the appetizer for Armor of the Master, which is a really cool, like, we fight to Ericus, who's a big character in the run, and he comes back and has a big glow up with fancy armor and all sorts of cool moves, and that's great. And then No Heart, we literally fight Xemnas from Kingdom Hearts 2, and there's a real honest chance I won't be able to beat him. So if you want to see me really be pushed to the brink, you want to donate to that one.
Yeah, and when you donate, folks, don't forget that as you donate throughout the week, you become eligible to win prizes that people have generously donated to this event, like these Kingdom Hearts plushes that we have right here on the table. We got Sora and Riku. I believe they are both $10 minimum donation in order to be eligible to win those. So please consider going to rpglimitbreak.com/donate and donating. There's also several other prizes available during this next set of runs. So if you need any more information about the prizes, you can see it on the donate page, or you can go to rpglimitbreak.com, click on the tracker, and get all the info you need there. Pessilist, I'd say good luck on your run, but I'm going to just walk about 10 feet over with you right now. We're going to both sit down and have some fun.
Yeah,
So.
best of luck to you, but some best of luck to me, right?
Yeah, so I look forward to it. Thanks for the interview,
Yeah.
and
Thanks, man.
see you in a few.
Yep.